My potential killer collapsed. This is from when I was 15 in 2014. I used to live in Dallas, Texas, and I went to a pretty ordinary school. Is this
rap? Texas, Dallas.
Yeehaw.
I just imagine.
Monster trucks,
Cobras.
You gotta put like a little cowboy hat on me right there.
Pico de
I
Gallo.
went like this. Ford Ranger.
Home Depot. Okay. Anyway. I remember, though, that when school ended near wintertime, outside was really dark. I used to have to walk home from school as my parents did not own a car, and they were in the process of getting a license. One random day, I remember walking out of school and heading home without my friend. My friend usually walked home with me, but this was on a Tuesday, and on Tuesday she had soccer practice after school. So I walked home alone that day in the dark. I remember passing a shop, seeing a boy slightly older than me standing near it smoking. He was wearing a hood, but I could see his face and he was glaring at me, so I just looked away and kept walking. Then I started to hear his footsteps behind me and I started to panic. I wasn't sure of his motives at one point. I remember I pretended to go on my phone just to make sure he was following me in its reflection. He was. That's really smart.
Yeah, noted. Taking notes.
I was shit scared, so I started sprinting. I don't know if that was the best thing to do in that situation, but I did. I ran halfway to my house and then stopped because I was out of breath. I was also still aware of the boy physically jogging after me, and I got angry for some reason and decided to confront him. I figured he was only about a few years older than me, so he couldn't be that harmful. Yes, I know, I was such a stupid kid. I turned around to confront him, and I saw him standing there, looking at me. Then suddenly he collapsed. His knees snapped the wrong way, and he fell to the ground, into a puddle.
Oh my God!
It was raining at this point. I screamed, and I think I ran up to him because I thought he must be hurt or something. But then I got closer, realized his mouth was open, his eyes were wide, and his hands were bent at odd angles around his head when he fell. He was making a strange, gasping, choking noise. He was holding a pocket knife. I was sure that if I stayed around longer, I was dead, so I sprinted all the way home. Since then, I have not told anyone about this. I don't know if that random boy died that day, because his death wasn't mentioned anywhere. I always felt guilty thinking I should have called the police, but I was so shit scared. I never had that experience again, saw that boy again, or even heard about him. I still think about it sometimes. What if I had run too slow?
Whoa!
Isn't this one wild?
That's crazy! Yeah. Something was definitely looking out for OP, though.
Yeah.
Because the
Literally
odds of that happening... Yeah, literally. I imagine the way that they described it, obviously this is not what happened, but I imagine, you know how all the people died in the ring and they're all like... Like that. That's how I imagine Samara just like popped up right in front of him as he's jogging towards. But it was some sort of female love vigilante, and she came out and she was like, "Not today," and killed him. Yeah,
I think that's actually what happened.
yeah. I would say that's a safe bet.
1,000%. This is absolutely insane. I don't know. I don't know if he was like maybe having a seizure.
Yeah,
Which seizures aren't great, but hell of a time to
imagine having a seizure and then breaking your kneecaps and your wrists backwards.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that. I wouldn't want to. Imagine seeing that. First of all, to be a woman is to perform. She immediately ran back.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And then saw that he had a pocket knife. Like,
Right.
that's so sad because I can
literally
empathize.
chasing me.
Yeah, you were literally chasing me with the intent to harm me because you were holding a little baby pocket knife. And I'm coming back to check on you because you look like you just got pulled out of into a TV from a curse of a girl in a well.
Yep.
So
yeah. I don't know.
he got abracadabra contorted.
Whatever happened to him, if he is still alive, hopefully that was a lesson. And he's like, you know what? No, we're not.
Yeah, I
gonna
shouldn't do
be a
that
little freak.
anymore.
We're gonna calm down. Maybe get a hobby.
Maybe you can get into wood carving.
Yeah,
That's something
wood carving.
really good to use a knife with if you really have a thing with knives.
Yeah.
I would recommend staying away from knives
Mm-hmm.
and away from any sharp objects or anything that could harm another person. Just go be a surgeon.
You get to cut people open, and they want you to, and you save their lives.
Or, that's a good one. Or a mortician.
A mortician.
Mortician would be a really good one.
Yep. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody has to do it. Crime scene leader.
Mom.
Sorry, you can't cut open bodies as a crime scene leader, but anyway.
My mom was like, she says they weren't dating, but like, okay, with this guy who was a mortician, and she thought they were going to go on a date to Moab because that's where someone had died and he needed to do his thing.
Okay.
The details are fuzzy.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, we can go to Moab, like walk around, like check out the town, maybe go on a hike.
Yeah.
As it turns out, when you cremate a body, it takes hours for it to cool down, and he couldn't leave without it. So they just hung out.
Well, did she ask to go, or was he like, "Hey, we should go
I'm
on
pretty
a
sure he invited her.
date to
I
Moab"?
was like, come to Moab with me.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be pissed.
Mhm.
I'd be so pissed. You're sitting around in a not a mausoleum, a morgue.
A morgue.
Yeah, that's where they incinerate
mortuary.
bodies, right? Mortuary. They're sitting around. Yeah, what do you even do? What do you just sit and play cards?
Do you sit and play Flappy Bird? Because I imagine he was like doing stuff, right? He's everywhere.
Was he? Oh my god! Can you imagine that he's like in the other room?
He brought the
working
body
on
with
the
him.
Body. Oh my god!
He's like, I'll be right in. He's trying to be funny. He's like, hey.
Weekend at Bernie's. He comes out and he's like waving. He's trying to scare your mom by like taking the head and rolling it across the floor.
Oh yeah, this place is haunted, so be careful.
I have something but
Is it a beauty?
is it an eyeball?
It's beauty.
Anyway, I
So yeah, anyway, damn, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy. So glad that you're okay though,
Wow.
Uppy. I mean, damn, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. To all of our listeners, what do you think?
Yeah, right?
Let's get 100
Write in what
opinions
you
over
think
this bitch.
happened to that guy. Because some people are thinking it's a seizure. Is there anything else it could be? I am not medically minded. so-
No, I think it's a ghost or some sort of spiritual being
Smiting him.
that came
for-
down and was like, no,
Stop it.
Stop. Smack in the hand.
Yeah.
Well, smack on both wrists and flip him backwards so they can kick his kneecaps.
Just like grabbed him by the ankles and flipped him. No. Stop it.
like shaking out a sheet.
Stop. Shake out the bad thoughts.
Oh my god. Yeah, I want to know what that would look like in real life.
Oh, sorry. If I was like, you know,
my father.
if I had power, like if I was an ancient Greek god that could just like cast curses upon people, this is the type of stuff I would want to do. I would want to see someone being a piece of shit, and I just like flick out the blanket.
100%.
Like, don't do that.
Yeah, stop. Flick him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Well, flick him in the
Goes
head for like
flying.
Yes, exactly. I'm super strong, so I flick you, and then that's how you get shaken out like a shit.
Yeah,
You get
we are gods. Like,
yeah, little vigilantes. I like that. Just like the book we're reading, or
mhm.
I finished. You're reading now.
Yeah, they are vigilantes. That's
Yeah,
why I
they're
can root for them. I'm like, good.
Mhm.
Cut out those eyeballs.
It's so cute. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. Have romance.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here. And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy. Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?